Hello and welcome to the Autistic Commando channel. I am your host, Sean Hupel, and that is a bird in the background. Today we're going to talk about disability. I don't like to use the term disability or comorbidity because of the social stigmas associated with those. Growing up, I was treated as autistic, meaning a regular person that's not autistic. I was just simply weird, but in a good way. And I've been consistently taught that a disabled person is not less of a human being, but that disability is seen as a deficiency. And many have lifelong limitations that require support, such as being in a wheelchair and needing a ramp to go up to that higher area of a building. My privileged upbringing created hesitance in admitting my own disabilities, plural. Being an autistic man with ADHD and multiple sclerosis can mean that forgetfulness and mind fog can be a daily companion. For most of my adult life, I've been able to compensate for memory, for fitting in, aka masking. For the ADHD side of distraction, like, ooh, that's something new over there. And for the autism side of overstimulation and needing to recharge, which is a staple of an autistic mind, needing to take a step back or do something completely distracting that's fun. Stimming is a good way to deal with stress, but at the same time, overstimulation can cause us to want to withdraw. What we sometimes also have in the way is trauma, sometimes from being ostracized or neglect or bullying and rejection. A lot of autistic individuals experience rejection sensitivity dysphoria. And prolonged trauma has physiological effects on our system. We're talking heightened adrenaline response, cortisol response. Honestly, stress can lead to more than just heart attacks. Depression is common within the autistic and ADHD communities. Something common with autistic individuals is PTSD and CPTSD, so complex PTSD, which is a mental health condition that develops based on chronic trauma. CPTSD often stems from repetitive exposure to a series of traumatic events. From my experience, this kicks in when feeling similar negative feelings that relate to a previous trauma. So I'm feeling the emotion. This can include feeling shame, heavy guilt complexes, being threatened, to include a hostage situation. CPTSD affects my relationships because, as anybody with any sort of PTSD can tell you, once you're triggered, it's difficult to return back to normal. And it can be genuinely debilitating. Triggers can come from literally anywhere associated with the events of a previous trauma, all the way back to a smell or that color next to that color next to that color, and boom, you're triggered. It can be a verbal trigger, meaning somebody asks you a certain type of question in a certain way, in a certain tone, and all of a sudden, like, oh, flashback, I've had that happen. And our reactions are a form of self-defense. It's our mind's way of protecting itself. Are PTSD and CPTSD disabilities? Yes. Is autism a disability? It can hold disabling features, but can also have benefits the same way that ADHD can have benefits. It depends on how you use them. The autistic minds that I have met have a commonality of being able to analyze systems and figure out, okay, is there a flaw over here? Is there a flaw over there? ADHD minds tend to be energetic and able to quickly adapt to a dynamically changing environment. And many times, holding on to the recognition of benefits is the counter to constantly being considered disabled by society. Morale is a vital part of self-regulation. Ask anybody in the military service. And I feel that using ADHD and autism solely as disabling features without looking at potential benefits discounts hundreds, if not thousands of years of history, as well as the natural process of evolution to create divergence. To further illustrate benefits, our different mindset and attention to things that might be ignored have led to many innovations, such as those of Einstein, Nikola Tesla. Native Americans even had a term for autistic individuals called, I'm going to butcher this one, takiwatanga, meaning my, his, her own time and space. The need for self-regulation in solitude, or being inside your own mind. ADHD and autistic minds have contributed a lot to the science and the arts. We see through a different lens of interpretation, leading to different conclusions. This is why many ADHD and autistic individuals always seek to try and understand the workplace and then improve it. Like, hey, this would be better this way. To discount all of autism and ADHD as a disability puts us as multiple fruits in the same basket. We come in more flavors than Baskin-Robbins. Each unique fruit is its own unique fruit. Some come with challenges requiring support, and some just need others to be supportive, respectful, and hopefully have an open mind, maybe a listening ear. We live in a unique world that requires unique adaptations to survive. much less thrive, and it becomes our choice to be selfish or to choose compassion. The most predominant choice in the autistic and ADHD communities is compassion. And compassion is to accept another individual as is without conditions, and to offer what support we're capable of. This is what it means to be a community. So to recap, I think just labeling and considering autism and ADHD as disabilities is disenfranchising to a great deal of those populations. And to say that they aren't disabilities also disenfranchises a great deal of those populations too. I believe accepting and supporting each individual as an individual who is unique, who has their own talents, who has their own limitations, is recognizing the beautiful mass that is humanity. Because we're all different. Recognizing each individual has their own challenges, their own limitations, their own gifts, and their own capabilities allows an individual to be an individual. But this is what it means to be a community. In this play that we call life. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to bring you some more content. Take care.